Welcome back to my channel one more time. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Also, you can join our membership. We'll be talking about the fake pregnancy, and I'm going to be sharing with you actually 5 different points today in this video in order to prove that this whole claim of pregnancy by Meghan and Harry is very, very suspicious. And we are not saying that Archie, Lily, they're all fake, or that she never gave birth to them, or that Harry is not the biological father of them. We're not claiming anything. All we're going to be doing in this video is to give you guys my reasons why I think it is very, very suspicious about the whole birth. Then you can make your own judgment. You can make your own decision. This is where Meghan gave birth. This is Archie's birth. And they came in front of the camera eventually. The reason I said eventually is because they did not allow any pap, they did not allow any media to report, because according to Meghan Markle, she said that that will block the emergency room for the Portland hospital, even though there is no dedicated emergency room in Portland hospital. But that's what Meghan Markle claimed.
She's at Portland Hospital, and the steps are at this hospital. And I said, okay, well, we could do a photo call in front of Portland Hospital. And they said, it's impossible. We couldn't barricade these streets off, and it would create a threat for the emergency room entrance, because that's where you would have to do this picture. And we said, okay, well, then what's the hybrid? Can we give them more time at the castle? And everything internally was like, yes, yes, great, oh, yes. At no point did someone go, absolutely not.
And thank you, everybody, for all the well wishes and the kindness. It just means so much.
Okay. So again, eventually they came out in public with the boy or the child, claiming that was to be their biological child born in Portland Hospital, and they could not get a picture inside of the hospital for the reason that the PAPs, the media, will block the emergency room, even though, again, as I said, there is no dedicated emergency room in Portland Hospital. I also want you to take a look at some of the other evidences. For example, let's see this one. This is epidural. Meghan had 2, according to Harry, 2 epidurals. The procedure takes time, and also you have to, if you're doing 2 epidurals, then you have to pull one out and then put back in the next one. What I'm trying to tell you is that the first epidural, you have to complete the procedure, the process, whole thing, and then you can start the next one. So there will be 2, and there is going to be a process involved. If you have 2 epidurals, what I'm trying to get to at is that if you have 2 epidurals, as Harry claimed, then it is impossible for you to be released from the hospital or discharged from the hospital 2 hours after you give birth, because the epidural itself will take time. It's a process again. Therefore, there is no way you can leave the hospital 2 hours after giving birth, as Harry claimed. Therefore, it is absolutely bogus and complete BS coming from Harry. And what he was really trying to hide is something we all know. Now, another thing that Harry mentioned is about this one. So take a look at this. This is what we call inhaling or laughing gas. This laughing gas is only kept for the patient, but Harry claims that he was the one who inhaled the entire laughing gas. Laughing gas is being kept in the hospital for the patient. If what Harry said is true, that would mean the hospital did not have any nurse when he was doing this, and he cannot be, and his pregnant wife, pregnant quote unquote, could not be left alone in the room without a nurse. So which one is true? There was no nurse when he was doing this laughing gas thing, or was there a nurse? If there is a nurse, he cannot do this. But if there is no nurse and he did it, that would go against the policy of the hospital, and they will take action. They will warn him and tell him that you cannot do this again. And then also, obviously, Meghan Markle, she claims that, or Harry also, he claimed that, actually Harry said that she was hopped on a bounce ball because of for the purpose of inducing labor, because she was overdue. She wasn't giving birth. This is something completely bizarre, because when you are a geriatric patient, you are 35 or more, you are at high risk of giving birth. Therefore, the doctors will never, according to an witness from the hospital itself, from the Portland hospital, she said, the doctor will consider your case to be an high risk case, and therefore they will not let you sit or hop on a bouncing ball to induce labor, because the doctors will be very, very cautious with your health, with your situation, and you'll be monitored. And just the fact that you are 35, as Meghan was at that time, you will not be allowed that to happen by the doctor. But Harry said, not only this, but Meghan was also trying to give birth in the water, because there was a bathtub in the room. That's what Harry claimed. But again, these are all making absolutely no sense, because when you see these kind of videos, here you see that a patient is giving or trying to give birth in the water, and you can see how many people are there to help her out. And this is a normal individual. She is not 35. She is actually under 35. She's young, looks like to me, and she's trying to give birth in the water. And this is how the procedure is. It can be very, very complicated, especially if you are a geriatric patient, pregnancy, going through that phase. It is almost impossible that it will happen or it will be administered without any complication. That is simply just not possible. And from this video, you can clearly get a good idea about how to give birth in the water. And this is what Harry said, that there was bathtub, there was water, and they wanted to do it. I mean, if they could, on the water. Makes absolutely no sense. Now, another thing that Harry mentioned is about the food, about Meghan and Harry. So for Meghan actually, she wanted to eat Nandos, and in the hospital they do have 24-hour service for the food. In other words, if you are a patient, you're admitted to the hospital in Portland, and you want to eat some food, you can order food, no problem. But you cannot order food from Nandos, because Nandos in that hospital, am I saying it right, Nandos? They close at 11 p.m. at night. Harry said that he sent his bodyguard to bring food for Meghan Markle, and that would be the night before giving birth or something like that. I don't know what time it exactly happened, but it most likely was a previous experience from Harry, that he wanted to have some food for his pregnant quote-unquote wife. At night, he sent his bodyguards. They came back with the food from Nandos. And again, if you think about the whole thing, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And these are obviously some of the other pictures that shows how Meghan was, for example, this one, how Meghan was actually adjusting her the belly. And people say that if it is a true pregnancy, it is not going to be something adjustable. Your moon bump, you cannot adjust it right and left as you wish if you are truly pregnant. You can only do that if you have a moon bump, and you can make some adjustment, just like this photo and many others where we have seen Meghan Markle bouncing on her belly as if she was not pregnant whatsoever. And the last point is this one. So Meghan Markle, she said, obviously, because of the PAP, we did not want, because of the privacy and the whole safety thing, we did not want PrEP to come over. But then you take a look at some of the other pictures from the royal family, for example, Catherine and William. You see them having no problem, no qualms whatsoever, taking picture, letting the whole world know about the pregnancy, about the childbirth, because they are, true and authentic. They did, Catherine, she did give birth to those children. So what was there to hide for her? There's nothing to hide. But of course, Meghan Markle finds an excuse to hide it from the public until we have seen this picture when they eventually had to come out. And I believe personally that the Queen kind of told them to come in front of a camera and pose for the picture. I think if it was not for the Queen, I don't think they would even have taken this picture, the one you're seeing right now. I think they were told by the Queen that, yeah, you have to do it because there has to be some public appearance. You have broken all royal protocol. You cannot break this one. Let me know if you agree with my analysis and my assessment. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to my channel.